Welcome to Vendée Globe Live here, the 6th of December, 27th day of the race. I'm Ryan Braymeyer, and we're live from Les Sables d'Olonne on the west coast of France. First and foremost in the news today is the recuperation of Kevin Escoffier by French Navy frigate off the IMOCA of Jean Le Cam deep in the Southern Ocean. It was accomplished early this morning very successfully due to basically perfect weather and a high level of professionalism from everyone involved. Here's the video and we'll have a look.
Voilà Kevin qui enfile sa TPS pour se mettre à l'eau. Donc voilà, il est arrivé comme ça, il repart comme ça.
IMOCA Hubert de Toulouse.
Je vous confirme un contact visuel. Je vous confirme un contact visuel.
Voilà le F732, le Nevos.
Contrôleur de l'essence sur mon tribord pour mettre une embarcation à l'eau. À droite 10.
À droite 10.
Voilà l'embarcation avec super.
Jean.
Bon, alors écoute, hein.
Fais un bisou. Bisous Macaille, merci.
Salut.
On se voit au tard. Oublie pour vous, bon, c'est bon?
Bah, t'as pas besoin de bout, tu vas nature. Et voilà.
Allez, bon courage.
Ok, merci.
Bon.
Donc voilà. Je vais refaire autre. Ok, à plus.
À plus.
Et voilà, je me revoilà tout seul. Alors une fois avec tout seul, après en double et après encore tout seul. Donc voilà, là en vert, là, le petit point vert, c'est le French Warship. Et juste à côté, ben, c'est Hubert en rouge. Clac, clac, clac. Bon, ben voilà. Un peu triste, mais c'est comme ça. Un coup tout seul, un coup à deux, tout seul. C'est la vie. Allez, à plus, ciao et je vous embrasse.
It really is amazing to see how good a weather that they had. Sometimes the weather gods just smile on us. You might ask why there are French Navy boats in the Southern Ocean. It's because they have fishing grounds there that they need to protect. So that pretty much explains it. Rankings for today, the 6th of December. Still in the lead, we have Charlie Dallin on Apivia, who's 200 miles ahead of the next two closest boats, Thomas Royan and Louis Burton. After those two, we have Damien Seguin, Yannick Besteven, Jean Le Cam, who we've just seen, Boris Herman, Ben Dutroux, Giancarlo Pedote, and Isabelle Josh. They make up basically the leading pack. After we have a group of four who are just passing the Cape of Good Hope: Alain Rora, Stéphane Ladiraison in 15th, Armel Tripon 16th, Arnaud Boissier 17th. After in the back of the pack, all the international players, Didac Costa from Spain in 19th place, 2,400 miles behind the leader. The two English ladies, Pip Hare and Miranda Marin, 20th and 23rd. Finnish Ari Husala in 25th. Kojiri Shiriashi, 26th. Bringing up the back of the pack, 3,700 miles behind the leader, we have Jeremy Bayou. Next up we have a 3D view of the fleet. Starting from the back to the front in Cape Town, we have Sam Davies and Seb Simon who have joined Alex Thompson. Hopefully they've all enjoyed a beer and a burger last night and a nice night's sleep in a dry bed. Closest to them, as I said earlier, passing the Cape of Good Hope, we have Alain Rora, Stéphane Ladiraison, Arnaud Tripon, and Arnaud Boissier, who spent the night in very high pressure, no wind. While on the other hand, Calise Cremer and Ramon Atanasio have managed to escape that. In the leading pack, we have Jean Lecam, who made his maneuvers this morning to unload Kevin Escoffier, along with all the rest of that group. Yannick Besteven and Damien Seguin, notably, who seem to be in a drag race, one next to the other, very quick, going the same speed, the same course. Further south, we also have got Louis Burton, who has said overnight that he's nearly exhausted after fighting for around 24 hours with autopilot problems and unstable weather. At this point, a lot of the leading group are getting ready to jibe to follow Charlie Dallin, who is still in the lead, or they have jibed. They've all got an important decision to make each time they're overtaken by a low pressure, which I'll attempt to explain a bit better now. Looking at the weather today on the 6th of December, we decided to give you, everyone out there, a little vision of what the weather is really like in the Southern Ocean, and how we always talk about lows and highs and how they move, but this is a good representation. Africa, Australia, and you see there's always a high in between each low, and the lows, they run unimpeded through the Southern Ocean all the time. All of our competitors are somewhere here in the front of the pack, moving along underneath of Australia and back. So it's interesting to watch what's going to happen. Charlie Dallin has got a big decision to make at the front of the fleet today. We can see here, this is in 2 days. Either he accelerates and attacks as much as possible to stay ahead of the front on the low system that he's got to ride, or he slows down to about 80% of his boat's potential and finds himself here behind the front. This is a move which will give him a race-winning advantage, but on the other hand, it exposes him to breaking the boat fairly easily, whereas if he slows down, he'll still be ahead of his pursuing pack, but behind the front and a lot closer to them. He won't be able to create as big of a gap. This is the still version of it, and if we look at it in real time, it's a very interesting situation as well. You can see everybody starts here with the front being formed, and you see the two boats of Apivia, 100% of his polars and 80% of his polars with the front, which is forming along this axis, excuse me. And we see here that if he slows down, he's close to the center of the low, and yet the worst of it is in front of him, and it gives him the opportunity to escape to the north to really avoid the worst of those problems. These are the situations that our skippers have to face on a regular basis, and this could be the difference between a race-winning break, a broken boat, or playing it safe and staying in contact with the other boats and having to work harder later to maintain his lead. A lot of decisions for these guys to take. I had the pleasure of speaking today with Benjamin Dutroux, who's having an amazing race on the old Phare design, which was originally BT, which Roland Jourdain won the Route de Rome with, and was sailed by Kojiro Shirashi in the last Vendée Globe. Here it is. Just tell us a little bit about the last 24 hours of your race.
The last 24 hours are a little bit strange because the last night have no wind, really no wind. Not more 10 knots, and it's difficult because the wind move is really shifty and moving in all the direction, and I can't sleep, and it is not good because the next time we have some wind and a lot of and a little storm, but I'm ready. I'm ready, and now all the sails are on the boat. And when we advance, we take the sail one reef, two reef, three reef, and probably the G3, the little sails, to come in the storm.
Tell me, I have to say I'm very admirative of your course thus far. You're doing an amazing job with a boat which is not of the most recent generation, a boat that I've sailed on quite a bit over the years, actually. And tell me about how it is in the Southern Ocean in that boat.
Yeah, it's an old boat, but really good boat, and I'm really happy because I have some feeling with this boat. I have worked hard with my team on me to have this feeling with the boat. I continue to know to learn the boat, and it is important to know the limits. And but no, the boat and me, we are really happy to are here at this moment, and we keep going, and we will continue to keep going.
You keep learning a bit more about how the boat works. I have a feeling you spend a lot of time on the third reef in the south with that boat, huh?
Ah oui, exactement. Ben, j'ai pas beaucoup mis le. I'm sorry, Ryan. I don't use a lot of the third reef, but yeah, I used easily the second one. Yes, and I'm now with 20 knots with all the mainsail up, and it is too heavy for the boat, and I will take one reef and probably second reef in the next 1 hour.
Okay, great. I don't want to keep you from that for too much longer. Can you tell me about how you're going to approach this little storm in the front that's upcoming?
I have do the choice to move to the front and to take really safe for the boat and for me. Because it is an important moment with an jibe, but I don't find really nice route to go fast, but not with heavy wind. I think it is just important to care it of the boat and of the race with little sails and good time for the jibe. I think it is the difficult choice is to do the time for the jibe.
I really can't express enough my admiration for him in the race that he's doing there. He really is keeping up with the front runners with a boat which is at least 10 years older and just doing an amazing job of it. I also had the pleasure of speaking with Miranda Marin earlier, who's also having quite a nice race, notwithstanding some technical issues over the last week or so.
2 days ago and 3 days ago, I did really thorough inspection, and I found a number of things that I had either missed or that had just recently occurred. But there are two areas that I really do not appreciate having issues with, and one is electronics and electricity, and in that I include communication systems and so on, as 2 nights ago we had. And the other is hydraulics, because it's just an area that it's not an area of expertise for me, although actually it's become a whole lot simpler now that I've actually had to do something with it. So any Alvar's help on those points have been pretty crucial. And other things I just get on with and do myself. Like yesterday when I changed Jennikers, I could see that the soft shackles were chafing on the sail. So I put on some extra soft shackles as safeties and put some Teflon tape on to try and protect them a bit. And there's still an awfully long way to go. And it's harsh. It's a salty, hostile environment for everything. So there's obviously going to be some wear and tear. So I need to keep a real eye on everything and try and keep on top of it. Oh, well, yesterday I was pretty useless. I didn't think I was really kind of where I needed to be. I should have probably jibed the night before. I didn't. And then I changed Jennikers too early because it started getting windy. The masthead Jenniker is really a very big sail, and I don't wish to have a fight with it that I'm going to lose. And so as it was getting windy, I thought that I would be sensible and change it. And then, of course, which I did, and it's a long sail change, that one, to the fractional Jenniker, including repairing the soft shackles. And obviously the wind then dropped completely. So it's completely the wrong sail. There's no way I was going to spend another hour changing back, especially since the wind was due to build. But it took a while to build, but it did. And actually, it's the perfect sail there. So I'd like to finish the race. I'd like to finish it with all my sails and without having a huge fight with the masthead Jenniker, which I'm a little bit afraid when the wind gets up. that's more important. That's more important than going faster than my playmates around me.
Miranda's been at this a long time, and it's very nice to see the mentality of getting it done, getting the race finished, and feeling happy with your result in the end. The great thing about the Vendée Globe is that we have such a huge range of projects, from Apivia and Linked Out and all the front runners, through to people who are living a lifelong dream like Miranda. This brings us to some questions from our audience in the social networks. Social media question number one: to what extent do they keep furled sails up from Emile? That is a very personal question for a lot of these skippers, because you never really know who's doing what. But the response ranges from people who are very militant about taking them all down immediately, to people who are happy to leave 3 or 4 sails up at a time. In my experience, the architects will all tell you that getting the sails down quickly is very important for your boat speed, but in fact, leaving them up is generally more important, because you don't get quite so tired, and you have the opportunity to get them unrolled and re-rolled if the conditions change. So in general, right now, I would say the guys in the Southern Ocean who are changing sails regularly are leaving probably 3, 4 sails up. Whereas some of the other people who are a bit more conservative might just take down each sail and just have one up at a time. That's sort of my answer to question number one on the social media. Question number two, I think, is a question that a lot of people are really interested in. And we'll have to ask him when we talk to him. I know Alex pretty well. Is Alex Thompson coming back in 2024? That is the question, isn't it, that I think is on everyone's mind, along with all the other people who have unfortunately had to abandon the race. You know, Alex is a competitor through and through, and it'll be interesting to see whether he comes back. At a certain point, after 20 years of trying to win the Vendée Globe, you got to wonder if the fire is still there or not, and I think he's the only one that can answer that question. As of right now, I bet if you ask him, he'd say, I don't really know, I just want to spend Christmas with my family and think about it and decide. But in the back of his mind, I'm sure he's already weighing up all the options. It's hard as a competitor to just shut off, and so I think we'll really have to wait on that answer. I'm rooting for him to go again. I think that he can still win the Vendée Globe, and I'd love to see him do it. But you never really know. That's the heartbreak and the drama of the Vendée Globe as these sort of situations. Listen, that's it for today from Les Sables d'Olonne. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you all tomorrow.